Right? All right, don't tell Ronnie. I let it go a little bit longer this time. It's actually 30 seconds.
I was rocking out, man.
I was back here going, yeah, all right.
Get my
I'm
groove
like,
thing
what?
on.
Hey, that was good music. Put it back on. All right. Hey, how you doing? Welcome to You're Shitting Me, TMI, the podcast. I'm Mike.
And I'm Ron.
And we haven't said it in a while, but believe it or not, we are brothers.
Bros.
Bros. We are bros, yo.
Bros.
And so here's first of all, how was your week, man? Everything okay?
You know,
Oh, no, I know everything is not okay.
Getting bitten by a brown recluse spider. That was fun. You know, hands swelled up, went to the ER, and all that good stuff. But other than that, you know what? God saw fit to keep me at work and keep me alive, so I have no complaints.
The shit you won't do for Halloween reality. Like, hey, babe, check this out. I let a brown recluse bite me. Check this out. And by the way, yeah, it's which finger is it, Ron?
This one right here.
He showed it to me earlier. I'm going to tell you what.
Yeah. Well, that was this one.
If you've ever seen a brown recluse bite, it's not pretty, and his is not pretty. It's
no.
Yeah,
Although I am expecting Spidey powers any moment.
Are your senses tingling?
Something's tingling.
That's a whole different sense, bro.
Yeah, amen.
And at my age, yeah, I'm thankful for it.
So, hey, tonight we're gonna talk about something Mike and I talk about quite a bit, and it's kind of funny, and I'm sure most of you will enjoy it. Toys, toys then versus now. Some of the things that we remember as kids. We were supposed to have a guest on, and he just said he didn't see the email, is why he's not on. But we're going to have a guest on that has a couple of young boys, but we'll just kind of muddle our way through it. So I'm going to jump right in, Mike, and I want to talk about one thing in particular, and it's a sad story. Do you remember the green machine? It was kind of like a big wheel, but it was long and it had
I do.
You steered it on the sides like this,
Yep. It had the two handles.
Yeah. So I had one. Dad had bought me one, and I had it for a while. And Dad always left real early in the morning for work. Well, stupid me, I left it behind his truck one evening, and the next morning I went outside and I found it in the sidewalk, just kind of munched all. But that being said, being the resourceful young man that we were, what did we make out of that, Mike? I'm sure
you made coaster cars.
Amen.
Even if Dad didn't run it over, you found one.
It still would have been.
Hey, what'd you kid do with that big wheel? Somebody must have stolen it, Dad. But check out this coaster car. You made coaster cars out of it, and yeah. So I hate to hear about your green machine, but no, we talked about some of this before, but when Ronnie and I were talking about maybe topics or a starter topic for tonight. I said, hey, you know what? I had somebody send me, and you may have seen it, Ron, on my Facebook page, and it's it's what I've been telling people is the Fonzie action figure from Mego, and
I did see that, dude. I was cracking up laughing.
But when I saw that, I had to start laughing because it's got these two kids, right? And one kid's got really long hair, and he's and they're playing this horrible song in the background, whereas I was like, the dude singing it is freaking making it up. And but it's a Fonzie action figure, and the only thing it does is you pull down on his jacket and he gives you that's it, man. So at the end of it, the kid's playing with it and trying to make it, wow, this is cool. Yeah. All right, that's gonna last for 30 fucking seconds. What are you gonna do after this, kid?
Yeah, I'm not buying it, sorry.
Yeah, so but I had a friend that if you saw, he posted, he says, hey, I actually have, I think he said he had the Arnold and another one of the figures. And so I went and looked on eBay just to see, do these things really exist? They do.
Yeah.
And there is the Happy Days, what I'm calling the Happy Days action figure set. You can.
Well, you do know, and for those of you that don't know, Mike's talking about a TV show from the 70s and 80s called Happy Days, where Richie Cunningham was there, who's better known as Ron Howard nowadays.
Yeah.
But I mean, Mr. Miyagi got his start there. We stole him out of houses
along the Greenway.
Greenway.
What's bad is it's probably true. I think we may have stolen from the Greenways.
So the statute of limitations is passed on that one. Somebody's been watching it in Colorado Springs, being like, "You son of a bitch!
Come find me."
Yeah. So Mike had made a good point yesterday or the day before, whenever we were bringing up this topic about toys versus then and toys versus now, is we can remember, and we may be wrong, it happens every once in a while, but we can remember toys back in the 60s, 70s, and 80s were designed to take kids outside, to do things outdoors. And nowadays it just seems like everything is geared toward keeping them inside. You got video games, and we just bought our grandson a birthday gift, and it was a card that they can download a game onto online. I'm like, so I never really thought of it that way, but yeah, there's a lot of things nowadays that are directed toward keeping kids inside.
And I don't think it has a thing in the world to do with the pandemic. This has been going on before the pandemic. I think the pandemic, if anything else, just exasperated the need for, playing games indoors.
Stop using big words, Mike.
It's when, I saw that. I think somebody had posted a video of the Evel Knievel. Remember the gyro deal? And so when I saw that, I thought, when you think about it, when we were younger, 10, 11, 12 years old, toys were meant to be taken outside and played with. And
played with hard.
Oh, God. Yeah. You play with them till you break them, and then you cry and hope to hell you can get another one.
They were made to last back then.
I was talking to somebody. Was it? I can't remember who it was today. I'm at that age, and we were talking about like the Evel Knievel toy, and playing with it outside, and it was mentioned. It was brought up. Okay, but maybe when it snowed, you might have to take it inside. I was like, oh, bullcrap! Snow just added two things: a challenge
added, man,
and a new dimension. It's like, wait a minute, snow. I wonder if he can go out there. It's like, yeah, I mean, nothing. That kind of crap didn't play with us. It's just like, okay, that just adds a whole new
bumper.
But yeah, and I've really thought about this since we talked about it, and I do. I believe that toys back then, when you think about it, were meant to be played with outside. Now, of course, when you do think about it, toys back then, I just saw another one. It's Roy Rogers, and it's the secret gun in the hat kind of thing. Yeah. And so it's two kids. One sneaks up on the other one and pulls a gun out of his holster, so he disarms him. Well, the second kid spins around and takes his hat off and presses a button on the side of the hat, and out pops this like little Saturday Night Special thing, and it fires a cap. And here comes Roy Rogers with a, "Hey, kids." And I think one of the kids is played Whitey on Leave It to Beaver. Was it Falfala?
Yeah.
And but my point there was toys that make you play outside then were guns, bows and arrows. You'd go outside and play cowboys and Indians.
How many people you are offending right now just by even saying that?
Does it look like I'm worried?
Yeah, I'm gonna say, and that's. Did I show you where I got bit?
I was bit there too, but mine healed up. But it still works.
But it is. I mean, when we were kids, it was cowboys and Indians and guns and, like you said, bow and arrows and a lot of fighting things. And and now it's everybody's just like so uberly like, oh my God, there's a gun. Like for instance, they had Yosemite Sam, the cartoon character, somebody made a comment about him carrying his gun. I'm like, it's a freaking cartoon. It's like, come on, let's get over ourselves.
That's why I'm really surprised, and I hesitate to say anything because somebody's going to go, you know what? I hadn't thought about that. The rallying cry at Texas Tech University in Lubbock, Texas, is guns up. And that's what it is, it's Wreck 'em Tech. Let's go guns up. And I'm actually surprised nobody's ever hadn't filed a suit against that university. It's like, you're offending me.
Hey, way to go, Mike.
Yeah. So remember, I get 10.
Just so you all know, I was not part of this.
Nah, but that's, look, and I know that sort of violates one of our codes, and that's, no politics, no, religion, police, personal beliefs, but that's the truth.
Yeah.
But
it is. And that is today's day and age. So,
that's why it surprises me. We have kids that live a couple of blocks away up the street from us here, and they play outside. They play basketball, and I swear I drove by them one time, and they were chasing each other like they were playing cops and robbers or cowboys and Indians.
Nice.
And that's in those moments, I literally want to stop and say, dude, I just start playing with them.
Except nowadays, when you say, let me go home and get my gun,
yeah,
it might be taken the wrong way.
I'll be right back, kids. Well, Uncle Mike, he's got one at the house. I'll be right back, kids.
Daddy, crazy old man down the street is going to get his gun.
I have thought about that a number of times, when I see him out playing basketball or whatever. I just think, I want so bad to get out and play with them. But then, then you feel like, okay, but certainly somebody's going to say, look, that weird dude, he's, look at that weird practicing pedophile out there playing with those kids. And that's a horrible place to be. I'm built that way. When I see that kind of shit, I want to get out and play.
Absolutely. Our guest was supposed to be my neighbor down the street, Corey. I guess you didn't get his email, but whatever.
I sent it to you, Corey.
The other day, I was across the street talking with my neighbor, John, and it was so nice to see it was Corey and his youngest boy down the street, just throwing the baseball back and forth to each other. And I looked down there, and it literally took me back to doing that with Dad in the backyard, just throwing the ball back and forth, because that is one of the things that kind of along the lines of what we're talking about with toys and being outside and those types of things. It's non-existent. That's a rare thing to see kids like that. And I'm not saying, I take that back. I digress. It's not non-existent. It's just not existent enough, in my opinion, in today's day and age.
I agree. I don't know what it's like for you, but the first time I was able to throw either a baseball, softball, or a football further than Dad, like it made Dad back up, it was victory. That was victory for me. It's like, all right, and today I am a man.
I'll tell you a funny story. So we lived on Kingsley Drive, right?
Mm-hmm.
It was a small backyard, and Dad and I were out back throwing the ball back and forth. And he said, "You spelt it wrong, Mike." We were out there throwing the ball back and forth, and Dad threw me a burner, and I caught it. And I was a little punk kid, man. I'm not gonna lie. I was just a little smart ass. And so I cut the ball. I was like, yeah, I caught it. I went, oh. I pulled my finger back so quick. I'm like, oh my God, I hope he didn't see that. Today is the day I die.
Nice knowing you.
Yeah, pretty much.
I'm sorry, Corey. I was gonna, man, if I didn't think it'd screw it up, I'd see if I can invite him while we're doing this, but I don't know if we can or not.
I don't see why you couldn't. Give it a shot.
Hang on. Can you still see me?
Huh?
Can you still see me?
Yeah, I can see you.
Okay. All right. Well, hang on.
Yeah, I'm sure.
All right, Corey. You keep talking. I'm going to try to get Corey the correct address.
So, and like Mike and I were talking about toys earlier, and one of the toys that there's two things I remember. One, and I'm sure everybody here that is of our age demographic remember this. The bicycles with the damn metal spiky pedals. I think every child from the 70s and 80s has scar marks on their shins from these Satan-driven items. I don't know who was the guy at the toy store that said, "Hey, let's put some metal spikes on these things to whack the
Yeah, that
crap
makes all
out
the
of
sense
kids'
in the
shins."
world.
Yeah, it was horrible. It was horrible. And
Probably
my
a
other toy,
pediatrician.
huh?
Probably a pediatrician, doctor
Oh
of
yeah,
some kind.
absolutely. And my other toy was, and Mike and I were talking about a little while ago, is our Tonka trucks. Man,
Love them.
Tonka trucks and Tonka toys, whether it was the dump truck or the backhoe or the loader or whatever it was, man, those things were built to last. They were made out of steel, metal. You know, it wasn't these plastic stuff that breaks after 5 seconds that you're playing with it. I mean, I used to, well, I hate to admit this, but I would stand on two of them and go down the hill like they were skates,
Right.
But and the ironic thing is, Mike, I don't know if you know this or not, but I was kind of looking it up of the iconic toys of the 70s, 80s, 60s, 70s, and 80s. How many of them are making a comeback now? How many toys in today's day and age that kids these days have no idea, don't realize these have been out for 30, 40, 50 years and they have no idea.
Great point. All right. I just resent it to him. So if I looked like a fool while I was doing it, I'm sorry. No, that's a great point because some of those are absolutely making a comeback, including the Evel Knievel motorcycle.
You want to know one of the biggest ones that really shocked me, and I didn't know this until I looked it up today, is the Tamagotchi. I don't know if you know what that is or not.
No idea.
Don't look it up. It's a little egg-shaped toy. It's got like 3 buttons on it and a really bad LED looking character in it. These came out back in the 80s. It was that type of tech. Hey, there's Corey. It was that type of tech, but my daughter Elena has one right now. And she thinks it's the coolest thing since sliced bread. She has no idea that came out in like the 80s.
And it's called a Tamagotchi?
Yeah. Corey, do you know what a Tamagotchi is?
Yes.
Yes.
See, what pad on the key ring.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But what a lot of people don't understand is those came out in the 80s.
Oh yeah.
And now they're coming back around. So we're kind of talking, by the way, this is Corey Obermeyer. He lives a couple of streets down. And I wanted him to be on here because he has a couple of young boys. So it'd be a good way to show what toys are today versus what toys were back then. So Corey's one of the rarities. His boys are always outside, bicycles, baseball, basketball, whatever. But that being said, Mike, when you and I were outside, we were on our bikes pedaling. We were on our big wheels and shit. Nowadays, there's all these e-bikes and e-scooters and everything.
Yeah, screw that crap.
It's like it just makes you fucking lazy is all it does.
Yeah.
Take the risk, man. Take the helmet off. Scrape your fucking legs. Get some scabs. Grow up, kids. What's wrong with you? By the way, Corey, just so you know, I see you spell it right this time.
Yeah.
I control the show.
Yeah.
I just thought I'd point that out. I can make you go away, Corey.
I mean, I get it. I understand. I mean, I'm not mad at you. I just wish you could spell better.
No.
Oh, it's my secret shame. I'm a functional illiterate.
I am very fortunate that I had my kids very young. So all the things that I grew up loving to do, riding bikes, playing baseball, outside, hockey, just motocross, everything, like my kids do that now. And they're just always outside. Like I'm inside right now and my kids are outside right now playing roller hockey at 5:30 at night, complete dark on our street with 6 or 7 other kids. Like
outstanding.
Yeah, that is the one thing I will say about our neighborhood. And I've actually had people comment about that. We have a pretty cool neighborhood. The parents watch out for the kids. If his kids are outside, Pat's watching them, Nate's watching them, John's watching them, whatever. We always look out for each other. So, and that's another thing that really doesn't happen a whole lot.
It's a rarity now. Yeah, it's definitely a rarity now.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Because nobody wants to, look, I struggle with it takes a village, but nobody wants to, take that responsibility. When we were kids, I know, Corey, it must have been the same for you when you were growing up. When Ronnie and I were growing up, everybody was our freaking parent.
Oh,
You
yeah.
know, if our parents were at home, the next one got in line. Lashes, Mrs. Hall. Mrs. Hall scared the hell out of me.
But you know what, Mike? The problem is nowadays you can't take that type of authority. You can't take that type of action because you're gonna get sued for it.
Oh, bullshit. I tell all my kids' friends as parents, like, my kids get out of line, I'll whoop their ass.
Yeah, that's the way Daddy did us.
I would do it too.
Amen.
I'm there.
Yeah,
I'm good with it. You know, it's look, that's the pro. And again, I know Ronnie has told you we don't talk about politics, religion, that kind of stuff here, but that is kind of the problem with the world. Is we live in a Nerf world, bubble wrap world. No, man, let your kids fall and hurt themselves.
Yeah.
That's it's just that is part and parcel to turning out the way the three of us apparently did.
Oh, my youngest son is 9 years old, and I've lived on the same block for 10 years. He was born on this block, and he was the youngest until Pat and them moved in next door. But he grew up with all these kids, and he grew up running around with the fucking diaper on a Strider, no shoes, fucking blacktop. I mean, he got fucking beat up by all of the kids on the block.
Yep.
But now that he is stronger than all those fucking kids. Like, he'll give all those kids a run for their money.
Yeah.
And anything he does, baseball, riding a bike, beating the shit out of each other, wrestling or whatever. I mean, that kid is resilient, and he grew up exactly how I grew up. I had older brothers and all their friends, and I used to get my ass beat all the time and playing football and thrown down and pushed off the bike. And I'm glad my kids experienced that, because they're not a bunch of fucking little sissies.
Would you say, Corey, there's strength in going through that?
Oh, 100%.
And where people today see that as, oh, what a horrible parent you must be. Oh, yeah. I'm going to stand up and say, dude, I wish there were more parents like you.
100%.
Have you guys, have either of you seen that Netflix movie with Bill Burr called Old Dad?
Yes.
Nah, but I think you told me about it.
I did. So there, I'm going to tell you, this kind of reminds me of a scene in there where Bill Burr's kid falls down and hurts himself, and he's all, "Hey, you're all right, man. Pick your kid up, rub a little dirt on it, And the other guy's like, "Well, you should probably put some Neosporin on it." He looks over and goes, "What are you a medical doctor or just one of those WebMD dicks? Get the fuck out of here!"
Yeah,
Neosporin. Yeah. Let me tell you kids about a little something called mercurochrome.
Yeah.
My ass.
And by the way, I'd like to say to happy birthday to
yes.
Yeah, Mrs. Hall, 83 years old, man. Love you, Ken. You have a fantastic mother. She was always awesome. She was one of the neighborhood moms growing up in the hood, and just it was an honor and a blessing to have her in our lives.
Mrs. Hall was sort of like Dad. If Mrs. Hall came out and yelled something, I was gone. It's like, oh no, dude,
it was time to go home.
Y'all be on your own. Fall down and scrape your legs on your own. I'm out of here. Mrs. Hall's going to kick our ass.
So Corey, with having younger kids, compared to what you had and dealt with playing with toys. Let's talk about toys. That's kind of the theme tonight.
Yeah.
Mike and I kind of are along the same agreement that toys nowadays are not really meant to be geared toward outside.
No, they're not made to play with.
Yeah, like our day, toys our days, everything was geared to be outside.
Oh yeah, it was geared to be outside. It was geared to play with. I mean, majority of everything now, you play with it one time, it breaks.
Yeah, it's plastic. It's plastic garbage.
I mean, we used to do crazy shit with everything that we had. Bicycles, Tonka trucks, Matchbox cars. I mean, you would put it through the ringer and be able to use it the next day like nothing ever happened.
Oh, absolutely.
Here's a perfect example. My mother bought my youngest son this RC car for his birthday. So first time out, he cracks the frame. It's made out of plastic. So $100 RC car, and he got one use out of it. And it's like, I don't understand it. It's mind-boggling that I get it, right? You're in business. Everybody wants to make money. I'm in business. You have a business, Ron, right? We geared to make money, but it's also geared that I don't want to see you tomorrow.
You want to have value out of it too.
Exactly. I'm fixing your shit. I want you to go out, have a good time on it, enjoy your family and everything that you're doing. I don't want to see you tomorrow.
Yeah.
So the value, I think, is, you know, it might be a little bit more money, but if it lasts, it's worth the more money.
So I'm going to share.
Well,
a quick
and here's
story,
the
Mike.
other thing I take from that one, Corey, is, you know, if you sell me something that it give me, let's take your RC car, for example. Let me get 5, 6, 10 plays out of it.
Yeah.
I understand if it breaks, and I'll come back and I'm going to shop you. I'm going to come back to you to get this thing fixed or get the replacement part. That's going to endear me to you.
Yeah.
If I take it out one time and I play with it for 10 fucking minutes and the thing breaks, dude, I'm not coming back to you. I'm done.
Well,
I did the same thing. I did the same thing with a drone.
Oh yeah.
You know, I blew some coin on a drone, took it outside, and damn thing hit a tree and
not that great of a pilot, huh, Mike?
Huh?
You're not that great of a pilot, huh?
No, I was probably better at this one.
Oh my God! Hold on. Yeah. So Ken, God, I love you, because this is just what Mike and I were talking about. I was like, what idiot said, "Hey, here, hold my beer. We're gonna go out and play some jarts." You know, where you take these big fucking darts that are this big and you throw them up at the
It had to be a deep south, southern comfort.
Oh my God, dude! I told Mike, I said, "This is the epitome of thinning the herd."
Oh yeah,
I got an idea.
But
let's take a couple of them spikes, put them on the dart, and just toss the damn things up in the air and see what the hell happens.
See who lives.
Yeah,
that's just it.
So I want to tell a quick story. I want to tell a quick story, Mike. And this
they got you outside.
This is kind of a personal one, and if I tear up, just bear with me. So when I was a kid, we were talking about things that last, right?
Yeah.
So when I was a kid, I had this little tiny cap gun. You remember those? Not the flat round caps, but the ones, the little round plastic ones that you could stick into, yeah. So anyway, so it used to shoot those, and you know, and my dad bought this for me, our dad, and one day we were in the garage, and you know how Dad was, you know, I think that's where I get it from. He was very focused on things, and the slightest little noise would throw him off.
Yeah.
And I was shooting this gun, bang, bang, bang. So he took it away from me. Now, mind you, I'm like 9, 10 years old, maybe. And I was crushed. So for those of you that don't know, Halloween just a couple weeks ago was 4 years that our dad passed away, died of cancer.
Anniversary. Yeah.
And about a month before that happened, I was flying back and forth from Vegas to the Springs to be out there with him. And one of the last things he told me, he's like, "I have something for you." He goes, "Come with me." He had a basement downstairs. We go into this basement, and he was a firearms guy. You know, he used to make his own ammunition, his own leather work and everything. He opens this drawer, moves some stuff around, and pulled out that fucking cap gun.
Wow. Wow.
And seriously, and I'm surprised I'm not bawling right now, because I mean, all I could do is just tear up, man. I'm just like, are you fucking kidding me?
Wow.
You know,
how cool is that?
Yeah. So, and it's to talk about toys that last, still works, still functions, everything's fine. And I looked it up on eBay. Mike, you had mentioned something about looking up toys on eBay.
Yeah.
You know what that little gun is worth right now?
$10.
$60.
Really?
Yeah.
I'll give you 10 for it.
Probably was $5. Yep.
But no, and it was a different era, different time. Things were made to last. And I don't know if it's because there wasn't an abundance of money back then as there is now sometimes. But things were made a little different. They were made to last, not like Corey's RC car. You play with it one time and that's it.
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing too now is everything's made from China now, right? Everything. When do you go to a store and actually you go shopping for shit? Most everybody jumps on Amazon, jumps on the internet, delivers it to the house. 90% of the time, it's not fucking made here.
Temu.
You know, it's all junk.
Yeah,
I agree. You know, and so the thought today was, you know, do toys today still make you go outside? We would been talking about, you know, a few of the things, and certainly jarts need to be played with outside.
Oh my god!
It's also the
Yeah,
parents.
leave it to Ken Hall to come up with that, because seriously, that was the exact thing we were talking about before we went live.
Well, Kenny Hall may be, one of the founders of that damn game. Maybe he was the one that, let's just put this nail on this dart and throw it really high in the air and see what the hell happens. Certainly nothing can go wrong.
Oh, nothing bad could happen. No,
nothing bad can happen from that. I was going to share with you some.
It's also a lot of the parents, right? Like everybody fears everything so much now. Back in the day, like my parents, they didn't give a shit what we did. Go ride on your bike, ride to the skate park, ride wherever you want. Street lights come on, get your ass home.
Yeah.
We didn't give a shit about anything. I mean, we went out and we just played, and we played hard. And nowadays it's like, you can't do this, you can't do that. I got to do some stuff inside. You can't go outside and play in the front yard. And it's like, I never, like, my parents were never home.
that's just the sad truth.
We came from the parents that used to tell us literally, go play in the highway, go play in the street.
Yeah.
That's the parents we had.
Yeah.
So speaking of that, Mike, I was strolling through some of the toys of back in the day, and I came across, speaking of playing the highway, I came across Jacks.
Jacks?
Well, yeah, the little spiky looking thing with the ball.
With the ball?
Bounce the ball, you try to grab it. Yeah. And so Michelle, my wife, she goes, yeah, I used to play Chinese Jacks. And I'm like, and then when I looked it up, I finally remembered what it was. So yeah. Go play Jacks on the highway. That's what Mom used to always say.
But see, that brings up something. When I thought about toys that make you go outside and play, when you think about a lot of stuff for the girls didn't make them go outside and play. Easy bake oven, Jacks, dolls, things of that nature. But now that you brought that up, smart ass, I'm going to let you in on a little secret. I could kick your ass in Jacks.
Oh,
I used to play with Dawn, and I was.
By the way, Dawn is our sister.
But a friend of mine, Dan, wrote Schwinn bikes, slingshots, wrist rockets, boomerangs, the Cox 49 radio, the control line planes. They weren't RC; they were on a line. You just held them on, spun around like a dork. BB guns, Estes model rockets. Man.
Oh, yeah.
I would look again, not to belabor a point. Y'all know by now, Ronnie and I, we came from a family that really didn't make a lot of money, but it sort of encouraged us to figure out how to get a little money so we can do the things we want to do.
Little creative.
So for me, I understood, look, aluminum cans can be turned in. When I was a kid, pot bottles, even beer bottles, you can turn them in for like 3 cents, 5 cents. So I'd go get all sticky, dirty, and smelly. But man, when I discovered Estes rockets, oh baby, I wanted to get a job at 12 just so I could afford one, because it involved. I was a NASA kid. I loved the space exploration program. So Estes, and there was actually, oh God, it just occurred to me where they discovered all the dead bodies down there in Penrose.
Yeah.
There was an Estes Rockets Club down there, and they sold Estes rockets, and it was in Penrose, Colorado. What that damn, those people that are, left all them dead folks out. You might want to bury them. I think they go bad.
They've expired.
I think they spoil. But anyway, Estes rockets. I know, Ronnie, you brought up earlier the water rockets.
Yeah, the little foot pump. You fill the little plastic tube with water, stick it on the pump, pumping up that thing. Now, Mike had a great idea. I didn't even think about it. So, we all remember those little Green Army dudes with the little parachute on it. Boom! You throw it up in the air, and he'd come down. He's like, just attach one of those little fuckers to the rocket and shoot him up there, and see if he comes back down.
I think I tried it a few times. It takes a little practice because you had to make sure that when the rocket, got to where it was going to start to fall down, the guy would fall off. And so yeah, you had to time everything just right. But we got it to work. And then if the Army dude didn't work, you started to make your own. You just find a trash bag, and
Amen.
you would actually make as big of parachutes as we could. And I was trying to float like wood logs and shit off of those. Yeah, that was me. So anyway,
Ken said he remembers the SS.
see, Kenny
tags on
remembers.
Highway 50. Yeah.
So I was right. I remembered it was down there somewhere, Kenny, and I swear it was down around Penrose. So sorry about all those dead people.
So sorry you died.
Seem very sad.
Yeah, it's kind of a sad story.
So it's we're going on about 35 minutes here.
Yeah.
Just wanted to say thanks, Corey, for hopping on with us, even though my brother can't spell.
All right. I appreciate you guys having me on.
I'm sorry, I can't hear you. What?
Got something on my nose.
Is this not working?
Yeah, but anyway, yeah. Thanks, Corey, for being on with your input.
Thank you,
Greatly
Corey.
appreciate it.
Yeah.
Mike, as always, love you. Thank you so much. God bless you both. Looking forward to next week's. Hey, why don't we do this? Why don't we get the folks that are listening now, or the ones that'll tune in a little later on, throw in some ideas about a conversation topic for next week?
Yeah. I mean, Lord knows clearly we can talk about anything.
Oh yeah.
And what we can't talk about, we just fucking make it up.
Amen.
That's what I do.
Hey, Rocky.
In fact,
pull a rabbit out of my hat.
hey, nothing up my sleeve. Presto. All right.
Well,
Hey, I love you, brother.
All right,
Corey,
guys.
I don't know you, but yeah, I like you.
Mike, I appreciate you, brother. Thanks for having me on. Thanks for not kicking me off after you couldn't spell.
All right, guys.
I know how to spell it now, smart ass.
All right, thanks. Keep it in your library, in your Rolodex.
Yeah, I'll do it. It's my Rolodex, Corey, because I'm not digital.
It probably literally is a Rolodex.
That's another thing. Who remembers?
What's wrong with that? Look, I'm still this guy, smarty pants.
Hey, there you go. All right, I'm out.
All right.
Love you guys.
All right,
See y'all
fellas.
later.
See ya. Thanks
Bye.
for having me on.